Hello everyone. We shall wait for 5 more minutes for others to join. We shall start the session. So I am Vijay. I am from the product management team. Hope my voice is audible to everyone. We welcome all partners for the day 2 session of Zoho People Partner Training Program, and we believe that the day 1 session was very informative. Similarly, today we have much more interesting topics to be covered. So. In meantime, if you have any questions, so you can post that under the questions tab. Our experts will help you with the response. We shall start the segment with a quick recap about the day 1, and followed with the document management and the case management module. Okay, so we're gonna see on the day's recap, the document management, case management, and the roadmap. So recap, the day started with a quick introduction where we have given the product overview, and then we have jumped into the onboarding module. So the onboarding module that we have discussed on how a candidate that can be onboarded to Zoho people. So using our onboarding portals, so all the information of candidates can be fed in before the actual day starts for them. So by this means the onboarding is a seamless for the HRs as well as for the candidates. So once when the candidate is converted as an employee, so then means that they do have access into the system, right? So Zoho people does offer multiple access, like they can log into either using their email address or the mobile number. But also we do support the single sign-on with the domain authentication. And post that we also discussed on the profile management where the employee access has to be given, where the employee will be having much what to say, like they will be having different roles when they join an organization, right? In this case, so each and every role will have a different access control. So using Zoho people access permission, we can able to have different access levels for a record or a field level access. We also discussed on the specific role which we have recently launched. Say if an employee wants to be accessible for a department or a location, even that can be possible with the profile management that what we have discussed so far. And then we have discussed about the core modules, the core HR modules, where how to configure the leave types, the leave policies. With the extensive option that what Zoho people offers, all the attributes of leave that can be configured in the system, and with how the compensatory off can be managed, the holidays, how holidays can be added in the system with the different holiday types. And we also do have different reports using which the leave data can be pursued for the payroll calculations. And moving on to, we have discussed on the attendance module with different modes of attendance that what the Zoho people offers. So we can have strict mode or the lenient mode attendance. And we also discussed on how the attendance entries, the day-to-day attendance entries that can be captured using the biometric system. So we have a healthy integration with almost all the biometric systems across. And with the geo restrictions and IP restriction in place, so we can have a confined check-in and check-out for all the employees. Moving to the attendance, we have discussed on the shift management. So having the shift pattern. So with having a shift pattern for an organization, say organization will have many shift patterns, right? So with the shift pattern, you can able to configure that with an extensive weekday and weekend definition. So with the shifts, you can also define how the rotation has to be. Say if an employee is in shift A and he has to move to the shift B, and that can be configured with the shift rotation. So we can able to automate the shift configurations with our attendance and shift management that what we discussed. And coming on to the timesheet management, yes, so with the jobs assigned, so a client can able to assign a job to a project, and with the jobs and projects, the user can able to do their time log activity on a daily basis or a weekly basis. We have multiple options where user can go and do the time logs, and based on the time logs and based on the criteria that what the timesheet has to be created, we can define the timesheet in the system. So we do have few schedulers in place where the timesheet can be automatically created, and with the timesheet creations, we also have the approval follow-up. So you can have the either the reporting manager approval or the project manager approval for the timesheet. So once when a timesheet is recorded and the timesheet is approved, and now it has to be just get billed by the clients. We Time Tracker does offer multiple integrations with many products like Zoho CRM, Zoho Invoice, Zoho Books, and we also integrate with QuickBooks and PayBooks as well. With this integration, the clients who use any other billing software or any other software of this, we can able to send timesheets and generate invoices across, where you can able to get the invoices billed, and the process gets seamless, right? So it looks so easy to say yes, it looks so easy to even to configure. That's how it is. And we also had a quick elaborated Q&A session where we came across a lot of interesting questions from our partners. So that's the day cap of day one session. So so any questions you can start asking them under the questions tab, and we will get it answered. So um, we shall start with this segment. We start with the day one of the presentation for this day, and that would be of the document management. Uh, Say, like in an organization, you will be having HRs who deal with a lot of documents. So they create a lot of documents. Like they create the policy document, they create the process document, and even the multiple HR letters. So they go behind the documents and they actually make them organize and do a lot of activities with the documents. So if you are giving an one place, one stop solution where all the documents can be managed under a single place, and importantly, making them making all the documents are digital. And with this current situation, I think that's more vital, right? With the document management that what Zoho people offers, that comes handy, where all the documents that can be managed and organized in a simplified way. We can see in detail how that could be possible with the system. Uh, yeah, let me take you through the organization and the employee files. Say an organization will have a generic files. Say you have a policy documents that will be across for all the organizations, and the employee files will be the files specific to employees. So to manage the organizational documents, so we have many structures inbuilt. Like we have folder structure, we have list of views where the documents can be managed. And also, it's not only about managing the document, it's about having the permissions, which has been defined for the files that is shared, right? The employee based file, whether the employee has to view the file or the employee should not view the file. So, and we have much more options inbuilt. Let me take you to the product, and I will explain you how the user interface are and how that can be done as in a ease. So I hope everyone could able to see my screen, the product screen. So we call it as files, file cabinets inside Zoho people. So you have many subtabs here. So we'll talk about the organization file. So I have already added some of files which is available, and we have two type of structures that what I show. One is the list view, another will the folders view. And the folders view will have the subfolders also. So it's not only the one folder, you can have a subfolder and you can organize them very well. And I'll just add and show how a file can be managed. So I'm just adding a single file in the scenario where one single file has been added in the system. We does support multiple file upload options. So one is through your local desktop where you can upload the file through a local desktop, and the other option will be the Zoho Work Drive. So we have integrated with the Zoho Work Drive, which means that we can actually have the link that has been supported in the system, so that all the document that is available in the Zoho Work Drive will be linked into the HR cabinet. And others will have the other options, the upload from other cloud service. Say you have Zoho Docs, you have Google Drive, Dropbox, any other place where you have files, you can able to upload them. With this file authentication, you can able to upload a file and giving a file name. So file name where you can have to organize a file, you can just give a file name and a description for it. And we have an option to share the file. So how the file can be shared, to share a legal entity or a business unit or a department based file or a location based file. As I said, it's an organization based file, right? We can able to share it to the multiple avenues. And the file that has to be associated to which folder. You can also add a folder if the file is of its own kind. And valid until. So say you have a policy document and which is valid only for a due course, maybe for a financial year or a calendar year. So you can able to add until option so that only then the file will be valid, and by default it will be taken out from the view access. In this organization file, as we say, that is the file for organization. So we can say whether all the employees can able to view that file or download the file. And we have a notification option. So once when a file is uploaded or modified, how it needs to be notified, either to feeds or through mail. We have multiple options over here. So we can also open a file. It's not that we need to download a file and see it. So we have an option to open a file, and we can able to view and read the file. We also do have the download and print options where the file can be printed. So whoever is authenticated to view the file and download the file will have those options visible here. And that's about the organization files. And moving on to the employee files. Yes, employee files is we have multiple options to serve for the employee files. So similar way, you can able to upload the files from different modes and have a file with a name. Here you have two major options. One is the files based on an employees or files based on the role. Say you are uploading a payslip for an employee, then you can actually choose the active employee based, and you can upload the payslip document to that employee. So the document remains with the employee. Only the employee and the administrator can able to view the file. We do have further permissions, which we'll talk about later. And the role-based file is a file where you can have shared it across different roles. So in Zoho people, as you know that, as you would have seen yesterday also, we can able to create multiple roles during an employee profile creation, right? It can be a manager, it can be a team member, it can be a director or an administrator. So by that means, you can share a file to a manager. Say you're sharing an appraisal document to a manager, so that only the managers will release an appraisal related document so that they can start off with the process. And we have a description in place for the file, and again the file that can be associated to a folder. As I said, under the file permission we have multiple options. So say you have a file, you have a payslip. We discussed about payslip file. So you have a payslip file which you share to your employees, and the payslip file will be shared only to the employees at most cases. But if you want to share a document, say you are sharing a document which a reporting manager and the employee can be part of, say a travel document or any other official document. At that point, we can say that the file is shared to an employee, and even the reporting manager can able to view or download that particular file. Also, in certain circumstance where the file will be against the employee, but it will not be shared for the employee. Say they are creating a notes about an employee, about the employee's performance, about the employee's attitude, and so on. So that case, only the file will be shared between the HR and the reporting manager. In that cases, you can actually share the file only to the reporting manager, and even restrict the download access to the reporting manager. So the file will be logged against the employee. So when we search for an employee, you'll able to view that particular file, but the employee will not have any access over that particular file. Only the reporting manager will able to see that file. And similar way, we have a notification. So any changes, any update that what we do in the file, we can get a feed notification, and even this notification will be pushed through our mobile app as well. So with this bell icon, you will able to see what notification that is come through, and even notifications. So based on the official email that what is there, it will be sent through their mailbox. So we talked about a single file upload, but but the ideal use case will be the bulk file that is uploaded into the system. It will not be a single file always. Yes. So we can able to upload a file. So uploading a file, say for example, you're having 10 files that needs to be uploaded into the system. At that point, you can able to zip all the 10 files. So put all the 10 files in a folder and zip that particular folder and upload it here. And we can say that whether it is for all the employees by default or it is for specific employees. So if it's for specific employees, say you are uploading 10 files for one employee, then whatever the format it can be, you can choose an employee and you can upload all the files. So all the files will be recorded against the employee. But if you are choosing the file for all the employees, then the format of the file has to be different. Say you name the file with the employee name or the any unique value, right? Any employee name or employee ID. So you can able to have the format. You can choose that what should be the first. I'm choosing the employee ID and say the first name. So if I'm choosing that way, then automatically the file format would be the employee ID in the first name and followed by the file format. So I can also choose the separator. Say I'm saying that this will be the separator, So this will be the sample document. If you could see that it's an employee ID followed by the first name and followed by the hyphen and followed by the document name. If you have a document name, say you have an employee ID hyphen first name and you have a payslip.xls or payslip.pdf, so that will be the followed name. So with this, you can actually upload a bulk file into the system, skipping off going and adding an individual file, and also make sure that the file is uploaded to the appropriate, because many times we upload the sensitive information like the payslip or the employment contract information or the appraisal letters. So the format of the file has to be so critical, so that we have this option to make sure that the file uploaded to the right employee. And we have further options like if you want to import without folders or with folders. For example, if you have a folders level, if you want to upload a file as a folder, say you have a folder, say you have a folder with an employee A name, and you have 10 files onto it, and every employee has been organized under a folder. So now if you're saying that import with folder, automatically the folder name will be captured as a document name. So with the folder name, all the files in that particular folder will be associated to that particular employee, even though if there is any difference in the document, it will be associated. So we need to be so clear in what actually we are doing and how we are uploading in the system. Similar way, we can set the preview permission. So whether even during the upload, we can say whether the employee can able to view the file or the reporting manager can able to view the file, and what type of notifications that need to be done. And these are some of the notes that you can able to see during the file upload, so that we can be double check that the file is being uploaded right and all the informations on the files are tagged to the right employees. So we have the list of files that is listed over here. I have added few list of files for a reference, and here we have few by default filters, like you have all files which list all the files that is there for the employees, and shared with me is the file that is shared only to me, the file which is created only for me. And we have, as I showed you, the options, right? So based on that, the file will be classified accordingly and shared to my role. Say if a file is shared only to the manager role or the administrator role, that will be shared here, and under the reporting files you'll be able to see only the reporting files. So with this all files, you can able to consolidate and see all the files. And we have an extensive filter option. You can enter the file name and you can just search it out, or if you know the folder name, you can just search it out. And we have different filter option that is available. Also, we have a modified date, right? So with the date, modified and created date. So even we can, if you are remembering, okay, I have uploaded a file last week, so I have not known what the file I have uploaded. So with the date representation, you can just go and search between the dates. So between the dates, you'll be able to list all the created and the modified. And based on that, you can able to infer, okay, these are the files that has been uploaded. So these are some of the shortcuts where you can able to go and search the file easily, and even with the file formats. So all the PDF, you want to see all the PDF or the spreadsheets or the images or even the audio and video, that can be found. As I showcased you the view or preview option, so all the supported formats like your PDF, your Excel, XLS, your Word presentation, all the other stuff, you can able to view it, and then you can able to download based on the permissions. That's about the files. So on the organization and the employee files. So let me move back to the presentation. And then the important part of the file cabinet that what we do have is the e-signature and the personal files. So with the e-signature tools that what we have integrated with, we can authenticate the documents that what we do have, and we can able to manage the different e-sign documents. It's not only sending the file for valid signature, and also to manage the existing file which already got e-signed. And Zoho People offers even the personal files option for the employees. You'll see how even those can be done. So I am moving back to the product with the e-signature document. So, under the e-signature document, so first I'll say like we have integrated with Zoho Sign, DocuSign, and the Adobe Sign. As you know, Zoho Sign is our own product. So, and the DocuSign and the Adobe Sign is our external integration. So, with the valid accounts, valid credentials, you can do the integration with these e-sign tools, and you can able to send the documents for the e-signature. I will just showcase you how to send a file for e-signature. So I'm just adding a file. I'm just adding a email recipient. So we can have multiple email recipients with comma separated. And if you want to send the email copies, only the email copies to person who has not part of the signature series, you can even send to them. And the file, so e-sign file, e-sign, and with the message that what you wanted to say for what is the purpose of this particular e-signature or what's the documents all about. And if you want to move that particular file to any folders, so as I said, so everything is associated to a folder. So we can organize it in a better way, so no files are scattered across. And we have few more options here, like you can even set an expiry date for the e-signature, so that say if you're sending an offer letter from Zoho people, or you're sending a contract agreement for a candidate or for an employee. So in that case, you can actually say this document will be valid only for 7 days. So you can even able to define the expiry date. So from the date today, if today is 7th, 6th, and you'll be till on 13th, the file will be valid. And you can also set the reminder and what would be the frequency of the reminder that needs to be sent with the automatic website redirection. So when you are signing a file, there will be multiple instances, right? So we will be signing a document. We can sign a document, and we can choose a later option to sign the document. We can even reject the document. And if you are sending the document to be signed for multiple employees, multiple users, at that point, what should be happen? So we can have a redirection URL for every instance. Say if a user rejects a e-sign, we can ask them for a reason. You can have a page, have a website, you can create a form or a website or embed a page, and we can get in the details. So this is for the high level customization that you can use on it. So I have sent a file and have copied a link from the email. So this is a link, this has been done today morning. So this is a link that you'll be getting in the email. Once when you access that email, you will be able to find what is the document information and who is the sender and from which organization and when it's been sent on. When I click on proceed to document, so I'll be taking, I have been integrated with Zoho Sign, our own Zoho Sign product. So I'll be taken to the Zoho sign page. So here at the start, I'll be asking for a consent to use the electronic signature for validating this document. So once I read this and once I check this, we can able to first preview what actually the document is all about. And when you click on agree and continue, then it will take you to the signature where the user has marked as here the user has to be signed. So when you click on that, it will ask for a name. Say I'm typing Vijay, so that it will show you some samples. Or if you have a touch board, you can able to draw it. You can able to draw your signature. You can put in your signature. Or if you have any uploaded documents of your signature, you can able to do that. Once when you have submitted, okay. Once when you have authenticated it, we have multiple options. As I said, we can decline the e-signature without signing it. We can even skip signing also. So with signing it, I'm signing this document and I'm clicking it on finished. So once when a document is signed, I can still go and download the document right away. So have it in my local system, or I can email that to my official address. Once when the document is signed, you will be able to see an update in the system. So this is what I have sent. So this is the offer letter signed PDF, which is a signed copy of the document. So you'll be able to see that the user has signed this particular document. See, user has signed this. So this is a signed copy. And this will be the normal copy that what it has been sent before getting signed. So with these details, you can able to find the complete transaction. So who is the user and when it has been sent for a digital signature, when it has been completed, when it has been delivered. So you can able to find some reason. Say if a user skipped on the 7th, say you have set an expiry of 7 days and user is skipped this particular event. So you can able to see whether the user opened the document. You will be able to find all the informations about what actually the action that is performed at the user level. So these are the activities. So when the document is created, when it has been generated, when it has been submitted for e-signature, and when it has been successfully signed by the user, and when it came back to the product too. upload. So with this, you can able to do a complete e-signature process using the e-signature tools that what we have integrated on. Not only the custom document that you are upload, the document that what you already have. Say here you have an option, right? You can send for e-signature. So document which is already available in the system, you can even choose that particular document and send it for e-signature. So you can send it for multiple parties, or you can send it on one-on-one. With the e-signature option in Zoho Sign on the other the signature tools, they also have offer a solution where you can sign the document. See, many cases not that we'll be sending the document and getting it signed, right? We'll be signing the document. Say an offer letter will be signed by the HR manager, and then it will be sent to the candidate, right? At that point, you can also do a signature by yourself first, and then that can be sent. So you can set up a flow saying that, okay, after the first recipient signs the document, it has to be followed through the second recipient. So it can be either parallel or it can be either the series of mode based on the use case where the e-sign is being utilized. And moving on to the personal uploads, what I said. So not only the tool is for HRs, it is also for employees. So we also provide solution to upload the personal documents for the employees. So all the storage space is a limited option. So with that given limit, the organization can enable a permission for the employees to upload their own personal files. So personal, yes, it stands by personal. It cannot be viewed even by the administrator, but the administrator can able to manage the files by viewing how many files a user is being uploaded with. Say, Christine, this user is uploaded 3 files, and what is the total number of files? Say if an employee uploads more number of files and he consumes the maximum allocated space, so that the employee can contact the administrator can contact him and say that, and then personally review what actually the files is all about. So with this product, you cannot able to, even the administrator will not able to see the personal file that is uploaded by the employees. Only their own files that has been uploaded can be able to see by the employees. So again, we have a few filter options. We can filter through the employee. We can filter through the file formats, as I showcased you. The filter option that what the file cabinet offers, it's common across all the segments, the organization file and the personal uploads, even the inside documents. And we have few settings in place. So as I said, yes, it's not that many organizations will allow employees to upload their personal files in the HR system, because HR systems is official in many cases. So we can restrict the personal files by selecting only for administrators or only for managers. You can allow files to be uploaded, or for specific employees or all employees. And you can also restrict what is the maximum file size that can be uploaded. So a 10 MB will be the maximum file size that can be uploaded at one instance, so that the storage space that what is being given, that is actually consumed across equally. And in the employee files, yes, we have a similar way, the employee tabs, where you can restrict all the even the personal files and the employee files, and broadcast only the organization files to all the employees. And similar way, based on the permission, it can be enabled or disabled. And the file view, how we want to view the file. By default, it's a list view or a folder view, we can do it. By default, with the list view, we'll be able to see both the options. So list or folder view, we can see it. And the reporting files. So reporting files, we have a few more options like, there will be a reporting manager, and the reporting manager will have the subordinates, and that subordinates will have furthermore reporting tools, right? So we can restrict an option, say it's always one-on-one, so that the reporting manager can able to see only their immediate subordinate, not the subordinates of subordinates. So because it's a file has been shared, so only there will be instance where only the immediate subordinate will be able to see. Say maybe for like employee notes or the other employee related confidential files, it can be shared across only the reporting manager's view. So I think we have almost covered all the aspects, all the segments of the document management. What does the Zoho people offer? So we talked about e-sign, personal files, and stuff. And next, the roadmap. So we are working on an extensive roadmap on the e-sign. So We are working on the employment forms like I-9 form and W-4 forms. So you will able to see going forward, you'll able to see the templates that will be available by default, so that we can utilize the templates and all the employment data that what it is already available in Zoho people. Using that, you will able to see the templates. Hope my audio still I'm audible. So right. And also we are working on something like the employee handbook template. So the employee handbook is like we can able to create a template. So by default, a template will be available. So where the users, the administrator can utilize that and they can create their own policies or own handbook template. So we will be extending an option to edit the template within the Zoho people, so that a template can be utilized and it can be uploaded back to the system. And we are working on a unified document holder. I think yesterday you would have been seen that we would have many trainers would have talked about the different file uploads. So in leave tracker, you can upload your medical bills or medical policies, or in the other employment, in especially in the candidate, during candidate onboarding, the candidate will be uploading a lot of documents during the onboarding phase. And post the employment also, there will be many documents will be shared between the employer and the employee. So all these documents which is uploaded across different modules, we will able to find that at a single place. So that we are working on. Currently, the file that has been uploaded in the file cabinet, you will able to see that, but the file uploaded across all the modules specific to an employee was common to our organization. You will able to see the files under a single document holder. So that is one of the important item that we are working on, which will make ease of for the HRs. And accept and decline. Not only through the e-sign documents, the organization who does not use the e-sign features, we will be providing an accept and decline for offline documents. So which means that a document can be created and it can be shared to an employee. The employee either says accept or decline. So based on that, you can get result that these many documents has been viewed by the employee and they have accepted it. And finally, access permission for all users. So access permission is, so we have talked about many permissions in the product, right? So we have talked about employee permission, we have talked about admin permission, we have talked about the reporting manager permission. Beyond this, Zoho people does offer multiple roles. So we do have roles like the managing director, we do have custom roles, we can go and create custom roles. In this aspects, even those users can able to access the documents that what's been available in the system, right? But currently now it has been restricted to the admin, to the specific employee, and to the one level reporting manager, or to the subordinate of subordinate reporting manager. So with the extensive access permission, we can able to define a permission for a form. How we'll be defining a permission, right? Similar way, you will be extending the permission to the file cabinet, where you can able to define the permission within the document. And that winds up the document management. And I could see that a similar question that has been asked by many of us. I will just read out that question and then I will try to answer that. Uh, uh, like to clarify an example, to upload 100 playslips and share it to the employees in the employee file folder. Okay. Yes, as I said, to have an employee, to have to upload a bulk file, right? So we have showcased on how to upload a single file. Under the employees, we will able to see how to upload a bulk file. Say you are having a folder, and in that folder you are naming the payslip document for all the employees with their employee ID. If that is the case, we can have all the payslips under a single folder, zip the particular folder and upload it here. And here it is for all employees, right? So we can say that what should be the format of that particular file. So it can be the employee ID, and with the separator, you can show it's an underscore or an hyphen, and then the document name. So with this, you will able to we'll able to upload the respective employees payslips to that particular employee who is associated with this employee ID. So we can able to align all the payslips under a single folder with a same naming convention, and upload that as a zip in the system with the file format representation here. So using that, we can upload on a single click. You can able to upload all the files in the system. Currently, we do support a zip of 50 MB as a one instance, and we are also working on extending that. So currently, it does restrict with the 50 MB as a zip. So with that, I think the document, you can upload as many documents as possible. So I think that answered that question. So I think let's move on. Let's move on to the next segment. So next segment will be the case management. So if you have any questions on the document management, you please keep asking on the questions tab, and our experts will be helping you with the answers. We also have a Q&A where we can able to discuss in detail on these questions. And now moving on to the case management. In an organization, if you see, HR will be communicated by many people, right? HR will be communicated by employees. HR will be communicated by the management as well. So if an employee is contacting an HR, right? HR will be, so like, they can contact an HR through an email communication or through a internal chat, that what they actually use, or even in one-on-one personal communication. At many instances, the HR has to respond back to the employee's queries, because that's more important to keep the employee engaged. So at many times, the HR will feel that it's all many duplicate questions that are actually being raised by multiple employees. So to eliminate all that, we can actually use the case management, and to make all the conversation, that what we made, the personal conversation, the chat conversation, as an official. We can able to make all the conversation official, and we can able to record this conversation and go back and review it. So the case management does offer many activities, like categorizing the queries with FAQs. So how to categorize the queries that is coming through the HRs with the FAQs that what we do have, and effective query tracking with a time-bound SLAs, and what are the feedbacks that we do have, feedback mechanism, and the reports for the HRs or the administrators, and what's actually cooking up, we can see in the roadmap. Okay, now we'll talk about categorizing queries with FAQs. Okay. As I said, there will be many questions will be posted by the employees, and say some HR, as HR is a wider department, they actually deals with a lot of actions, right? They deals with the employees onboarding, they deals with the leave, core modules like leave or attendance, performance appraisal, and many smaller organizations, even they take care of travel, they take care of finance activities, and so. So with questions inflow, if you think that there are different variety of questions, so, and we need to organize that. To do that, we can define categories. So we can actually have categories for every segment. So you can create categories for leave, you can create categories for finance, for travel, for employee engagement, for onboarding documents, for all the process that HR follows. You can able to define categories, and that categories comes up with a lot more items, like FAQs inside the category, and reference documents that can be uploaded within a category. And say if it's a wider organization, if the organization splits across multiple locations, we'll be having HR Spark for every location who takes care of specific action. So in that case, we can even have one leave category, and say if the organization is split across in Chennai and Bangalore, and we can have an agent for Chennai location, we can have an agent for Bangalore location. So employees who raise queries specific to the location, you will able to, that particular queries will be answered by the respective HRs. And finally, the query lifecycle, how a query lifecycle goes, how it starts and where it goes and how it ends. We will see in detail on this. Let me take you to the product. So we call it as cases here, and you will able to find the cases module in the left tab under the services. So let me take you to the categories, how to create a categories, how to organize a categories. So I will just open up a category and show. So I have just opened a leave category here. So leave category it comes with what actually the prefix, if you can add a prefix for a category where the auto numbering of each questions, you can able to have a auto numbering. And who should be the category admin? We have two difference. We have one is category admin and we have an agents. Category admin is the one who actually manages the complete category, the inflow of tickets and all the other FAQs and other stuff. And we'll be having a agents as well, and I will explain you what the agent role is and what the category admin role is. We can have a description of the category. So and then, as I said, say I have added one specific location and all location. Say for all locations, I have tagged the Department of Human Resource. Always, if the agent is not only always it needs to be a one single DRE. It can also be a department or a group of users. So even those can be contributed to that particular category, and they can able to answer the questions, pick and answer the questions. With category in place, as I said, so we can also have a subcategory within a category. Like when we are talking about leave, so we'll be having different questions. So some questions about paid leave especially, and some questions will specific to the policies that what the leave policy that the organization follow. So we can able to have subcategories within a category, and even subcategories can have questions specific to that. And with the references, as I said, you can go and add references as a document. So whenever an employee raises a question, you can able to witness what are the references that is available, so that maximum answers can be answered from the reference that what has been there. And as we just talked about the document management, so as I said, all the document that what we do have will be available under the single place. Yes, we already have the integration between our document management and the case management. The document that I have uploaded it under the uh, files. So you can able to see that link. So this is a link that is shared between the files, so that any document, any change in document that will be uploaded there, that you can able to view it. And finally, the most important thing in the FAQs. So to avoid the duplicate questions, so we can have the list of FAQs by default list in the category section. So whenever a employee is about to raise a question, they can go and type in the question and see whether a similar type of question is available under the FAQs, and they can able to read out that, and if the answer is sufficient, then that should be fine. If not, if they wanted to go and raise a question, they can actually go ahead and write the question. And under the FAQs, so even when responding to a question, right, the FAQs can be utilized. It's not that always a HR has to go and type in a response or attach a file to it. With the reference documents and the predefined FAQs, what is available, the HR can actually go and tag the particular FAQs and do it. So this is all about the categories, that what it is there. Then I said about the life cycle, right? So the case comes up with multiple status. So this is all the default status that what we do have, and we also have an option to rename it as per the process that what an organization follow. So by default, if you have a open, so it means that whenever a query has been raised, by default it will be under the open state, and the in progress is where a question has been picked by the agent and they are working on it. So they can go and change the status to in progress, so that the case owner can able to see, okay, the case has been picked and it's under progress. And we also have a chat option between the field, like at mention option between the case, where the case owner and the agent can able to interact also. And we have a status called pending, where it's still under the queue, still it's not been picked by the agent. On hold is that the case has been picked, it's been reviewed, but they need further information, or they cannot answer that particular question at this point of time with some valid reason. So they can add that such a comment, but that particular question needs an answer definite. So we can move that on a on hold. And finally, we have status called closed. So once when a question has been answered, so either the agent himself can go and close the case, or the case owner, once when the question is responded, the case owner can go and review it and see, okay, this I've got the answer and I can go and close the case. So this will be the basic overview of the life cycle. So we will again switch back to the presentation. So now comes the query tracking. So how the query can be tracked. So we talked about the categories, we talked about the different factors of the categories that is available. Now, how a query will be raised and how it will be tracked and how the case owner and the agent will be communicating. We will see that in detail. As I said, the query classification has a different status, and we also have the SLA. The SLA will be so handful, so utilized for the critical categories. Say you have a category on payroll, on finance, which definitely need an answer. For that, the SLA definition will be vital. And we have few more filters, the watch list, and agent specific action. We have a few more agent specific action. I will take you to that in the product. Okay, so I will just start with the SLA, how to define an SLA. So we have SLAs under the settings, so next behind the categories. So you can able to go and define an SLA. So you can name an SLA and we can choose for which category the SLA is applicable for. So only for that particular category, the SLA will be registered, and we can even define a criteria, which means, so if you have multiple locations, say you have only for a location, Chennai location, this particular SLA will be applicable, or only for the specific role, this particular location will be available. You can able to do that. We have multiple options in doing it. So I'm adding for all the categories for on the leave queries. And in the level of escalation, we can say what should be the closure time. Say the closure time is 2 days. And what should happen after the closure time, that will be on the escalation. So say I'm mentioning 2 days as a closure time. And what is the days? Is the calendar days or the business days? Because all these days will be based on the case, whoever raising the ticket, right? So because they need a response, they need a response within 2 days. So it will be based on their own calendar days or the business days. And do you want to send a reminder? And if you want to send a reminder in a 1 hour time, or you want to send a reminder in days, you can be able to set that. Okay, what should happen? What should happen after the SLA has been violated? So either it needs to escalate to a specific person, or directly the agent has to be changed. Here I have mentioned like it needs to be escalated to a person, Rebecca, and also the agent has to be changed to a department from a specific user. So the case where it is escalated to a person, also the agent is moved to a department. So in case that it is not specific to a user, it is specific to a department. So any user from the particular department can go and pick that case and respond to it. So this was a sample SLA that's been configured. We can go and configure multiple SLAs as it is category specific. So for all the categories, you can go and configure the different SLAs. Now I'll move to a query section, how a query that can be raised and what are the different aspects of available during the query raising. We have something called unmanaged cases. So as I said at the start, so we have a case owner and we have agents. So a case owner is a person. Say you have a travel case. Say you have getting a query. What is my travel dates, or what is the process of getting a US visa? In that case, a case owner will see the question, and they will able to assign who should be the agent, who will be the right person for this case. So this will be generally this option will be used only for very specific cases, not on a general cases. So in this page, you can able to actually list down all the cases where you can able to open a case. So this will be the basic layout of a case query. So you can able to find what is the category, and as I said, the auto numbering that will be in line for specific categories. Here you have a requester. Who is the requester and what is the basic information? If you mouse over, you'll able to find the basic information here. And what is the category that is being selected, and what is the current status, and if you have any priority of this particular ticket. So during raise of a ticket, you can able to set the priority. For this, the agent is not selected. As I said, it is a very indirect case. So we can go and select a agent. The agent will get listed over here. And this will be the timestamp where you will able to see have choose the agent, and automatically the case has been picked by this particular user. So you will able to get the timestamp. You'll get the instant notification for both the requester as well as for the agent as well. So these are the recent interactions that has been happened on this particular a case for who is associated to the agent. And we can write a reply, say it is resolved. And as I said, you can add an FAQ and attach an FAQ. Attaching an FAQ is like we can actually go ahead and attach an FAQ which is already available. So if you just click on the FAQ, if there is any FAQ, you can just go on type for FAQ and you can attach that into the system. And adding an FAQ, which means that say you feel that this is a common question but first of its kind. So in that case, you can actually create an FAQ with the question and answer. But if there is any specific information that is available in the question, so at that case, you can actually add a question and you can respond to the answer of that particular question, which will add to a FAQ. When creating an FAQ, we can even create a tags. So with the tags, you can able to search. Say if you are creating an FAQ for a leave. So what is my leave balance? So leave balance can be viewed under the leave reports. And we can also attach a screenshot if required, and we can have a tag. Say it is leave. That will be the tag. So then balance. So by means, so whenever a user search for a leave, so automatically this particular FAQ will pop up for them, so that they can actually have you can able to manage all the FAQs to a specific tag, and all the relevant FAQs, only the relevant FAQs based on the keywords that what is being searched, that will be shown for the employees. Okay, so now I'm closing this particular ticket. So when I click on submit, as I showcased, we have multiple options. So we can respond to it by saying it's in progress, or it's in pending, or it's on hold, or it is closed. So these are the actions that can be managed from the unmanaged cases. And my cases is a default tab where the cases that is allocated to a particular user, that means particular agent, all the cases will get listed here. By a glimpse of this particular page, at the bottom, you will be able to see the number of open cases, number of in progress, and what is the countdown pending. For this user, there is no pending on hold. Only the 4 cases open and 4 is in progress and 4 is closed. So you can traverse across and see the different status information. By viewing a case itself, you can able to find what is the case subject, who actually the user is, and on which timestamp the case is triggered, and what is the category, and what is the current status. So you need not to go to open every case and see it. Only to view a response or do any actions, you can actually pitch into each and every case and do this action. And here we will be able to see only the open cases, the status that is except closed, all the other status will be available under the open cases. So we can actually go to this is something like different views. Just for a quick action, you can actually go to different views and you can do that. Watch list is something like a case where an agent is, as I said, we have two aspects. One is the case owner and another will be the agent, right? And we have also the category admin. So where the category admin, where a case has been assigned, a case been raised in a category, which does have only the category admin, and the category admin actually move the case to a specific agent. So the category admin can be as a watch lister for that particular case, because he's the one who has assigned the case to a different agent, so that he can go and watch and see what's actually happening to that particular case, and he can pitch in at any point of time, so that the case, if it's not get resolved, you can just go and resolve it. So this is just to avoid any case that is missed, even beyond the SLA, even before the SLA, the watch list will be most used. And the all cases is just the gist of all the cases that what we have had in each and every tab. And my request, yes, even the agent, even the case owner will have an option to raise a question. They will also have a query, right? So they can go and raise a question, and any question that is raised even by the case owner, because I can be a agent for one of the categories, but I might have a query in another category, and I will be the case owner for that. I will not be the agent. So in that case, all the queries that what I have request will be available under the my request. And this is the page. This is a default page where you will able to go and search for a case. So by default, before asking a question, you can just go and type. When you click, you'll able to find the recently accessed FAQs. And if I type in on leave, I will able to find what are the leave queries, leave FAQs that is already available. And if my question is something related to this, I can open the FAQ, go the answers, and if there is any relevant documents associated to that, I can able to view it. If not, I can just click and ask a question. So the question ask, you can able to ask the question by directly going into uh, ask us here, or by default you will able to find the information. So this will be the page where a request is raised, say a requester, and if you want to choose a subcategory is available for, I have choose the leave queries as the example that what I've showed before. Here you can choose the paid leaves, and with the priority, what is the priority of that particular query that gonna ask for, and you can type in the subject leave balance, and we can see who actually the agent is. The agent is by default is the human resource, and we can mouse over and see who are all the human resource. Everything this comes here is based on that particular user's permission. And you also have the reference document. We can view the reference document, and we also have the FAQs listed, all the FAQs that is available for this category. So beyond the FAQ, beyond the reference document, if the answer needed for a question, so the employee can actually go ahead and raise a question, and they can also attach the relevant details for the question. So with this multiple options, the maximum repeated questions that can be reduced. And not only the question, not only the FAQs or this details, this module, not only it only deals with the query tracking of the employees. See, the cases module actually contribute during the policy making also. For example, you have a leave policy, and you are getting a lot of questions on that leave policy. Then it's a time for us to go ahead and review the leave policy that what it is, because either the leave policy that what we have drafted would not be that clear, or and many classes that needs to be added. So that is one specific element that we can take it from the cases module. And another thing is maybe in this current year, during the financial year, say for the IT filing for the or the reimbursement, there would be many questions that have been raised for this particular year, and we would have moved many things as an FAQs, right? So in the next year, before the financial year, actually before the closure of the financial year, we can make an announcement using all the FAQs, so we can avoid some repetitive queries, so that we have all the data which is available in the cases module. With that, even the policy making divisions, even the announcements, even the beforehand informations, that will be more vital with this complete setup. As I showed, we have different reports. So the reports that you can have a weekly wise report, how many questions that has been arranged with the status, or the monthly wise report, you can able to do that. On clicking a report, it's not only the page where it shows the report. When you click on a report, say you have a 9 open tickets and you're seeing that, you'll be able to see what actually the tickets are. Okay, these are the tickets that is available on this open status. So you can directly go open a ticket and you can just go and close it. It's not that you have to navigate every time to my cases or open cases to close a ticket. So this is a much useful way with the report. So you can always go land on a report, see I have 9 open, okay, I have to close it. And you can able to, so it will get listed, it will get filtered based on the timestamp. So the recent request will be at the top and the old request will be at the bottom. And we have an escalation report as well, and the feedback reports as well, or the few. As I talked about the feedback, right? Yes. So what is the fear? Say we have raised a query, and the query has been responded by the agent. So once the query has been responded, the case owner still go ahead and submit the feedback, whether they are actually satisfied with the response that what they have got, or they are not satisfied with the response. So we have a feedback module, in which you can able to define what feedback for which feedback you need to have an automated response. So by default, you'll be having an automated response. You can actually go ahead and change the even the feedback message by default. So we can define what for what category the feedback has to be there, for what things the feedback is not required. So when we go and view a report, you will find this how your feedback report looks like. So in the feedback report, you'll be having different feedback reports for excellent, for neutral, for a different status, right? So with this, you can even click on the feedback. We'll be giving an option to traverse across to that particular query and then pick what is the reason for that particular negative feedback for those cases. Beyond this, we have few more options under the notifications. So as I said, it's all time bounded. It's SLAs, right? It's time bounded. So in that case, we need to raise a query, and it's not that people will always be in the system. They will actually do other works as well. So the notification is more vital here. So that is why we have given a predefined notifications for agents and for the users. So these are all the predefined notifications. Whenever a case is raised, a notification has to be sent. Whenever it's escalated, you can notify a case is pending. So it's a different aspects of notifications. You can just click on and off on the notification, and also we'll be giving you a basic editable format of this particular template, so that you can go ahead and edit and change the template. If not, you can actually go ahead and use the predefined notifications that what is available. Beyond this, if we need any specific notification, yes, the cases module is also integrated with our automation, our extensive workflows automation that what is available. So we can go ahead and add a workflow, and the workflow, we have multiple options, right? So during create action, what should be the workflow? What should the email alert that needs to be configured, or during the close action, or during a reopen? Generally, if a case is getting reopened, either the response is not that right, or the user has still more further queries because it has been closed by the agent, right? And if there is any category change, the agent will not know, that the case owner will not know that the category that what I have raised is not right. So they might thinking that I have responded to this particular person, and they will be keep asking to them. And if the query which has been cancelled, say a query I have raised a query, and someone is working on this query, and I have just going and cancelling it. So they will get a notification instantly, so that the question has been cancelled, and so that we can stop working, and we can able to find what is the actual reason for the cancel of the queries. And with that, you can go and add a mail alerts. With this, you can include the mail alerts. And we also have the custom function support, as most of the partners would have come across this, right? The custom functions, where you can go ahead and build a follow-up action. With this custom function, with the script builder, you can actually go ahead and build a follow-up action. What needs to be done? It's a daily scripting. So what needs to be done? What should be the further action? Say a query has been raised, then say I have asked for a travel request. In that case, I have asked for a query where what should I do for taking a UK visa or a US visa? In that case, once when it has been responded, so for those travel categories, an automatic request can be moved to a Zoho expense, or even we can have a form inbuilt in Zoho people, where you can have a travel query, travel visa request for a UK or a US by them on behalf of the employees, so that we can take things forward. So with this multiple options, it's not only, as I said, it's not only a communication between the employee and the HR. It's with this we can able to fortunate a lot more use cases, like the policy decisions, like the announcement that what need to make for an organization at the due course of time, and also the follow-up actions that is possible. And okay, so we have covered on the effective query tracking with the SLAs, and we also covered on the feedbacks that what I've showed, and the reports where dynamic status update reports. With the reports, you can go ahead and dynamically update. And also we talked about how the auto message feedback, the response that can be made on the queries. And finally, the roadmap. So we are extending our case management. So as I explained you, the lot of benefits of the case management. So it is a communication between the user and the employee and the HR. But the communication will be of a different sense, right? Always the employee will not tend only to ask questions. There will be a lot of concerns. There will be a lot of sensitive information that they need to share to HR, or they need to share to a board, or a designated board. So the grievance management module, we are extending our case management to the grievance management module, which will be an additional option where you can able to find that very soon. So under the grievance management, the grievance, the employee can raise a grievance, or the administrator or the management can able to raise a grievance uh, on behalf of the employee. So even both cases are possible, right? And as you know that administrator and Zoho people can able to do any activities or go and see any data in the system. But grievance management, even the administrator cannot view certain details. Only the designated board or the designated authorized person has to able to see that. So we are designing this grievance management in such a way that only a designated person or a closed environment can able to go and see the grievance management. Even all the data will be, you can able to see all the data will be like, it is be you can even you cannot even see through any different modes. So that is one of the important items that we are working on. And as I said at the last, the first, like we have many organizations who talk to the HR in emails. So we do also have the customers, we do also use the Zoho Mail and Zoho Desk products, right? They actually mail the HR, still mail the HRs, and they raise a query with the Zoho help desk. So we are integrating with those two products. So any questions, so the employee need not to go and change, we cannot go and change, okay, you go and raise a query in the HR system, so that they can actually still use the Zoho Mail or Zoho Desk to raise a query, but all the queries which is raised over there will actually be moved to Zoho people by default. With that case, the HR can actually have all the queries under the single place, and they can respond back within the Zoho people itself. So all the response of what is made, the employee will get the notification in the Zoho people case module itself. And we have module admin for cases. So it's not always the HR admin or the administrator in the organization or the HR people who always does all the admin activities in the system, right? There will be many persons. So HR can designate a person, a DRI. Okay, so you take care of this, and you take care of cases, you take care of leave, and we have different segments. So if you are giving that particular authorization to a user, so as I said, the case management, you need to be an admin to do all this maximum activities in the case management. So that we are introducing the module admin for cases, by which where the employee, the person who you are designated, will be an employee across all the modules in Zoho people, but only for cases you can designate him as the admin. So he can able to manipulate or manage all the data within the cases module, still being a normal user or still being a reporting manager based on his role for the other modules. And the last one is the most interesting part. One is ZIA based query handling. So we call it as Zoho artificial intelligence. So we were talking about FAQs, right? So when an employee writes a query, so whenever they go and type in the keywords, a list of FAQs will be there, and the employee can go and read the FAQ, and if it's self-sufficient, they can just leave off, or they can still go ahead and raise a query. With ZIA integration, what will happen is, if an employee actually writes a query, so based on the structure of the query, and based on the mood of the query, and based on the actual description of the query, an automated response will be placed for that particular queries. So with this, HR can actually ease out. HR need not to go and see whether the query has been answered or not. So employee will get a very responsive, and employee will get an appropriate and accurate response. So we are working on towards that, because it does involves a lot of data learning and stuff. We are working towards that, and I think that will add more value to the case management than what it is today. So all these roadmaps that what we have discussed in both the document management and in the case management, we'll keep the partners updated in our partner channel once when we release each and everything. So I think that's almost towards the end of the session. So I think we have few more time left. Okay. So I can just see if you have any questions. Let's question that has unanswered. We can see. We have an option where we have a question where can we integrate a support email address, particularly with a case module. Yes, as I just discussed, so the Zoho mail the Zoho mail integration is in pipeline, so we can have a specific email address that can be mapped to a specific category, so that if an employee raises a questions with that to that particular email address, automatically it will be moved back to that specific category. And any more questions? So we'll pick if you have any, if there are any questions on the file upload or the document upload as well. So it is possible to push the file uploaded during the candidate onboarding push to the employee file the personal. Yes, as I said, that's in the unified document, unified documentation. Yes, where you can able to have all the documents under a single place. So that's what we are working on. So any document that is uploaded for an employee specific in any modules, any file uploads, those documents will be moved under the file cabinet, under the employee section. So you can able to view the file in that particular space as well as in the employee. So one single place, the complete document, the complete employee documents that can be viewed. Okay, so there were multiple questions on the place flip. I think we have explained on how the place flips works and how to upload the multiple place flips here. And how much is the storage space per employee? The storage space is based on the subscription that what subscription plan, and for now we have restricted to the 5 MB for storage space, but for the personal documents we do have some additional option where you can extend that till the 10 GB. And one more question, are this case module restricted to HR queries or can be made available to asset management, etc.? Yes, we have such option. I will also take you to that. We have a service. So it's not that only categories, right? As I explained you, we have categories and we can go ahead and create a category, and for that category we can have an agent. Say I have an I have a custom service that I have created here. In this custom service, you can actually able to go ahead and create. One second, let me move to that. So in the custom service, you can actually go ahead and create the cases here, which means that you can go and add an FAQ to a service. So a service-based category can also be there. Say for every service, you'll be having a service owner. So when I'm creating a service, you'll be able to see. I'm creating a service. Okay. So here, when we create a service, the service owner, whereby did we say you have an administrator as the service owner, we can enable cases. We can enable cases for this service. It means that we can able to, the service name, sample service will be created as a category in the cases module. And we can go and pick a agent. You can go and pick either the department or the specific user as a agent. And we can add a references to it. So it's not that we need to go and create a category specifically in the cases module. For the existing services that what we do have, we can also go and create categories here. Okay. Next few questions. Can I put approval workflow on a file upload? File upload, no. File upload is, see, as I said, we have two concepts. If you are uploading a file directly in the file cabinet, at that point, the file will be uploaded only by the administrator. As I showcased you, the employee will not able to upload a file, only the administrator will able to upload a file. So the administrator is doing, then they not need to be an approval option. But as I explained, we will be extending our permission to the different users as well. At that point, we will think of how to provide an approvals. But on a general file upload, where you're doing from the employee form, or you're doing from the candidate form, or you're doing from the leave form, that particular form you can have approval concept, where you can have, if there is any change in the file with the criteria, so that the file can be uploaded back to the system. So we'll check any further questions. Okay, I'll project a question. So you can able to see that customers I am in contact will have shared feedback that the storage space is too less in comparison to a number of users are they importing. As I said, yes, the storage space is restricted, is limited to the subscription for now. We will review on that. We will review how the storage space can be increased based on the usage. But with the infrastructure, we need to have a confined storage space. But we will definitely think over how to have the storage space even with the employee count, not only with the subscription. So I think we are almost towards the end of the session. So, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for participating in this. Hope the session was informative, and we are winding up 10 minutes earlier, so we'll be on a break. We'll be on a 15 minutes break, and also we have and also a notification for all the partners. So we'll not be having a session from 7th to 10th, and the next session will be on the 11th May. So post this today's session, we'll be having a session on 11th May. So next session will be on the much awaited topic, performance management, which will be handled by Ms. Bhavita. So we can resume back in 15 minutes. So thank you everyone. Thank you once again.